Do you want to make a gorgeous charcuterie board but feel overwhelmed with how to put it together? The hardest part of a charcuterie board is styling the cheese, but I'm here to help you. I'm walking you through step by step 10 cheeses and how to cut them and style them on your next charcuterie board so that it's beautiful. All right, we're going to start with a couple of aged cheeses that have a rubbed edge. So there is some flavor in that color on the top of the cheese. We want to make sure that when we put it on our board, every single piece gets some of that. For our first cheese, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the narrow end and I'm going to cut slices from one side all the way down until the entire block has been sliced. Then after I do that, I'm going to offset them slightly so they overlap in the middle, but they're going to go from the narrow to the widest end. It kind of looks like an offset Christmas tree, which is how I like to look at it. All right, on this other very similarly shaped cheese with a rubbed flavor on top, I'm gonna slice it the exact same way I did with that other one, but this one I'm gonna lay out to be a dividing border. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start with the wide end and then overlap it so that it's gonna make a long train that runs throughout the charcuterie board. It's super easy when you wanna fill up a space and kind of divide your board into two parts. The next one we're going to do is another triangle shape, except this one has the flavor running all the way through it. It's a Gouda infused with some caramelized onions. So all we're going to do is we're going to clean up the edge and take that rind off. I'm going to remove the top because it's a little bit scaly and I don't want to eat that. After that, I'm going to cut the whole triangle in half so then I can make uniform slices all the way down. As I slice them, I'm going to lay them out on my board. This is a hard cheese, but it's kind of semi-hard, so it's flexible. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to overlap each slice. It kind of creates a zipper look. This is another really great way to create a border or dividing your charcuterie board with two sides. 3 down, 7 to go. But I wanted to introduce myself real quick because I haven't done that yet. My name is Alexis. Welcome to the Fancy Apron Kitchen. If we haven't met before, I like to share easy recipes for holidays and entertaining. If we have met before and this is not your first time here, what up, dude? Welcome back. Now we're going to move on to a Manchego, and this is one of my favorite ways to present cheese on a board because it's really cute and it's really simple. So to start, we're going to clean up our Manchego edges. The wax on the outside of this cheese is not edible. Some people like to leave the backside because it's decorative, but I'm always concerned that someone's accidentally going to eat it. Once we get that off, we're going to cut some slices all the way down. With a cheese that is as dry as this, you might have to go a little bit thicker than you normally would because it will crack. There are some air bubbles in this cheese. It's kind of a little bit of character that the Manchego has. This one has a big bubble, so we'll call it extra character. But all you're gonna do is cut about some 1/4 inch slices all of the way down, and then we're gonna lay those going back and forth in an opposite pattern. So it's kind of like a mountain, but reverse. Now we're going to tackle a really simple triangle cheese. I was talking to my mother-in-law the other day about this and she said she doesn't like triangle cheese because she doesn't know how to cut it. And so this is for her. What we're going to do is we're going to take our big triangle and cut it in half. Then we're going to take those two and we're going to slice them again all of the way down. You could do this even a second time so they're very bite-sized. I think that this is adequate. So it's kind of like a 2-bite portion. It's a really dry cheddar, but there's a lot of different flavors that come in this triangle shape. After that, we're gonna offset it kind of like we did with that Manchego, but this really does look like a tiny mountain range. Now we're gonna move on to Gouda. I have 2 different shapes of Gouda to show you. So this one, I read somewhere it's called an Alpine Wedge, but I don't know, it's a big wedge. After we get the wrapping off, we're gonna cut the inedible wax that's on the outside of it. And from there, that's the chef's tax. If you have a little end, you can cut that off and eat it yourself. But then we're gonna do some rectangles all the way down. So I'm gonna do a few rectangles until my edge is pretty wide. Then we're gonna cut that piece in half and then continue on with our wedges. So these are like large matchsticks or little mini rectangles. It's a different way to display cheese that I like just to change things up. Okay, now we're gonna do a more traditional Gouda. that has the red wax around the outside of it. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna carefully remove this. I did speed up the process because it's too much to watch in a video, but the point is you're gonna carefully run your knife down until that waxy rind comes off. You're gonna set it aside and we're gonna use that to present the cheese on the board. After you get the edges cleaned up, you're gonna cut some big cubes, and then we're gonna use the red waxy outside to hold the shape and create just a little decorative piece when we put together our charcuterie board. The last 3 cheeses, we are doing some square blocks that are all a little bit different. I'm gonna start with this crazy Madagascar bourbon infused and vanilla infused cheddar. Never seen this before, but I love it because the flavor is running all throughout the cheese in its entirety. That means all we have to do is cut it into cubes because each piece is exactly the same. This next one has herbs rubbed on the outside of it. So what I want to do is clean up the ends, but then leave the herbs on the other side. Now, this is a tricky cheese because it kept breaking on me, but I don't care. We're going to put it on our board anyway, and everybody's going to love it. What I'm going to do is just cut my slices all of the way down, and then I'm going to stack them so they're kind of in a supported matchstick pattern. So they're not flat on the board, but we're not doing much with it. All we're gonna do is lean one on its side and then lean them on each other all the way down, if that makes sense. This last option definitely looks like it has some energy put into it, but it doesn't. We're just gonna take a sharp knife and we're gonna chip pieces off of our dry aged cheddar. So this is a great option for a very hard cheese because you want the pieces to just break in kind of a natural way. That's all you have to do. These are so simple, but they look definitely like you've put some care and intention into it. I do have each of these styles written out in a blog post. You can go to fancyaproncooking.com to check it out, to save it for later, to read up a little bit more on what cheese to buy and then how to put things together. We did it. We went through 10 different cheeses and we presented them all in different ways that are going to be super easy to eat and easy to serve. I do want to go over a couple quick questions that I get from people a lot that is, I hope it helps you out. So first of all, how much cheese per person do we put on our charcuterie board? You want 1 to 2 ounces of cheese per person. So if you are making a charcuterie board for 8 people, I say you split that difference, go 1.5 ounces per person, which is going to mean you need about 12 ounces total. Now, what kind of cheese do you choose? You choose what you like. If you're gonna have leftovers, you wanna make sure it's something that you're gonna have on hand. Look for a couple different varieties, something with an infused flavor. Like one of my favorites is this lavender and espresso rub cheese. So different flavors, different textures. You're gonna want 1 or 2 hard cheeses, 1 or 2 soft cheeses. That's gonna make a nice balanced charcuterie board. How far in advance can you prepare cheese for your charcuterie board? I'm gonna say 24 hours. You can cut your cheese and get it ready to go on the board up to a day in advance. Just put it in an airtight container and keep it refrigerated until you're ready to assemble your board and put it together. If you do it more than 2 days in advance, the moisture is gonna start to seep out of the cheese, even if it's a dry, hard cheese, and we don't want a wet cheese. That condensation, it's just gonna work against you. You don't want that. Okay, when it comes to making a good charcuterie board, do not worry about perfection. I think that it's intimidating when we look at Instagram and we see all of these wildly beautiful, professional grade charcuterie boards. You're making this to be eaten. I prefer it, but when I put food out, everybody immediately dives in. I feel like if you make it too perfect, no one's gonna wanna be the first one to break the seal and dig into the board. And so if you're cutting something or preparing something and it doesn't look quite the way you had envisioned or the way it looks on the internet, it's going to get eaten. That is the headline. So feel confident, get excited, don't worry about perfection. That's the enemy here. Okay, So this was super fun. I have a bunch of other charcuterie videos for you, like how to fold a meat rose and how to style a prosciutto. Other tricky problems that if you just tackle those little things, you'll make a great board, I promise. So subscribe, come back so we can do this again. You can be my best friend.